Renfield is a movie that has just landed in cinemas. Now, is this a movie that delivers what it should, or sadly, is it not that good? Hey guys, welcome to Marcus Loves Movies. My name is Marcus Lee and welcome to my Renfield movie review. We've got two Nicholases on screen. We've got Nicholas Hoult as Renfield and we've got Nicolas Cage as Count Dracula. It should be a wonderful thing, right? It should be fantastic. Well, I'll give you a quick plot outline, then I'll share my thoughts and feelings about the film. Renfield, the tortured aide to his narcissistic boss, Dracula, is forced to procure his master's prey and do his every bidding. However, after centuries of servitude, he's ready to see if there's a life outside the shadow of the Prince of Darkness. Now, I think your enjoyment of this film is going to be determined somewhat by your expectations of the script, of the acting, of the story, of the beats. Like most films, that's going to determine what you take away from this. If you've got this preconceived idea what the film is going to be about, if it turns out to be what you expect, that's going to determine whether you like it or not. Now, I think if you go into a movie blind, not knowing much about it, and especially with Renfield, if you go into this movie blind, not knowing a great deal about it, just knowing that it's a vampire comedy movie, and you take it for what it is, I think you'll probably enjoy it a lot more. Now, I will say this up front, this isn't a brilliant movie. This isn't the best movie I've ever watched, but it doesn't need to be. All this movie really needs to be is a fun watch, and I think it is, and I think that's what made this an enjoyable trip to the cinema. Now, I expect Nicholas Hoult to be a likeable protagonist, which he is, check. I expect Akwafina to provide some comedy entertainment, which he did, check. I expect crazy Nicolas Cage to be crazy Nicolas Cage on screen, which he did, check. So far, so good. Now, when the movie started, it had some particularly gory elements, and I thought, I hope this movie isn't just going to try and gross me out for the sake of it. I'm not a fan of that. You know, I'm not 12 years old. And early on, we see Dracula or Nick Cage in all of these prosthetics, and they look quite disgusting and gross, and I thought, I hope it's not just going to be one gross attempt to gross me out after another. But it wasn't, and literally after about 10 minutes or so, I thought the movie got into itself, it got into its groove, and I started to enjoy it. Now, fortunately, a lot of that blood and gore in this movie doesn't gross you out. It's more played for laughs. So there's no spoilers in this, but you're going to get some sequences where people are going to get arms pulled off and thrown and used as javelins, and it's all really silly, it's really stupid. It's that dumb level of action where you can't take it too seriously, and you can't help but laugh at how ridiculous all of this is. But ridiculous in a good way. It's trying to make you laugh. It wants you to come along for the ride and have a good time, and that's what the movie does. I liked Renfield, I like Dracula, I like Akwafina's character, I like this repeated joke they had about a character called Kyle, which somehow felt a little bit like a South Park ripoff. I liked Ben Schwartz's character, this grown-up man-child who's part of this crime organisation. You can't help but laugh at him every time he's on screen. Now, like I said, this isn't a brilliant movie, and I didn't expect it to be. It's not perfect, and I do have some criticisms, but the truth is I don't have a lot of criticisms because ultimately it's a 90-minute comedy movie about Renfield and Dracula. I never expected it to blow my mind. So one of my first criticisms is about the casting of Akwafina. I like her, but she does feel slightly miscast. Yes, she's good at comedy, she does provide some laughs, but she's meant to be playing this hard-nosed cop in a police department where she's trying to root out corruption, and that's not her. I almost think it would have been funnier if she just played another character that didn't have serious motives and just did the comedy bit. I think that would have been better. Secondly, Nick Cage for the first part of the movie does come across like he's just Nick Cage playing dress up. Yeah, we all love to see Nick Cage on screen with that trademark crazy laugh, and that's all good. But for the first part, I just thought, yeah, you're just playing dress up, mate. But as the movie continued, I thought he warmed into that role, it became funnier, and I started to enjoy that more. And I think my next criticism is that you could argue that some people's reactions to discovering the fact that we've got a vampire in the mix would be a little bit more like, oh my gosh, oh I'm so frightened, oh this is really scary. But some characters discovered there's a vampire and they were like, oh, you're a vampire, okay, let's talk about it. I'd expect a bit more of an over-the-top reaction. So this movie is 90 minutes long, and if you keep watching my channel, you'll see that I'm a big fan of movies that are 90 minutes long. I think it's the perfect running time. Say what you need to say, entertain me, then wrap it up. Don't drag it out longer than you need to. Don't Avatar The Way of Water me. Just say what you need to say, do it, and then move on. I felt like this movie was perfect for what it needed to achieve in its running time. Now, if you're looking for deeper themes, there's something in this film about destructive relationships. That's what Renfield has with Dracula, and he goes to this support group where he's trying to get help to get out of this destructive relationship. It's an attempt at depth, but ultimately, the big takeaway is that this is a fun movie. It's reasonably forgettable, but sometimes it's okay just to watch something that's reasonably forgettable. It's okay because I just want to be entertained. So my official Marcus Loves Movies rating for Renfield is 3.5 stars. The last thing I'll say about this movie is there are some great action sequences in there. I forgot to say that. There's some really, really good action. So if you're a fan of action, you'll definitely enjoy this. So those are my thoughts about Renfield. I had a great time going to watch it. 90 minutes, in, out, shake it all about. Had a great time. I've got a lot of positives to say about this film. But ultimately, I still want to know what you, watching this, what you think about Renfield. Did you enjoy it? Did you have a great time going to watch it in the cinema? Did you watch it illegally? Or did you watch it and think, no, it wasn't my cup of tea? That's perfectly fine as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Before you go, do me 2 quick favors. One, give the video a like, and secondly, please, if you like movie reviews like this one, if you like trailer reactions, film discussion, please subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate your support. Thank you for watching my Renfield movie review. Please stay tuned for the next video that I release, and I'll catch up with you again soon. So until then, take care of yourselves, and thanks for watching.